Travel isn't just about destinations. It's about the people you meet, the cultures you immerse yourself in, the stories you carry home. I'm Relebogile Mabocha, and on my travel feature, I take you on a journey beyond the guidebook. Each week, I connect with fellow travelers, insiders, and storytellers to bring you the heart of every place. Whether it's a hidden gem right here in South Africa or a dream destination abroad. Join me as we travel through conversations, memories, and inspiration. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Right, it's getting noticeably lighter in the mornings. We had some actual warm sunshine yesterday. Almost time to pack away the winter blankie. Spring is officially on the way, at least. And that means it's time to enjoy the annual breathtaking display of spring flowers around Cape Town and beyond. We reached out a couple of weeks ago to ask, is it time to talk about where to go and look? And we were told, no, hold your horses. Wait until the first week of September. That's when things are really going to be glorious. So that's what we've done. And it's my great pleasure to have with us for our travel and tourism segment today, Carmen Lerm, the founder of West Coast Way, which is a company, as the name implies, specializing in visitor experiences in the West Coast region. At this time of year, that is the place to be if you want an easily accessible flower experience. Obviously, if you've got the time and wherewithal to travel up into the Northern Cape, that's another creature entirely, but you don't have to go that far. Let's find out more. Carmen, it's wonderful to have you with us this afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
It's a total honor to speak to you this afternoon, Pippa.
Thank you.
A real blessing.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Carmen. We're lovely to have you on the show again. Just remind us about West Coast Way before we talk about the flowers. For listeners who've not heard us chat about or to you before, won't you just tell us a little bit about what it is you offer?
Well, the West Coast Way is really inspired by the West Coast of South Africa, which starts from Blouberg, and we've taken it up to Garries and Nieuwoudtville, which is sort of on the edge where the Northern Cape is. And it's all about people hopping in their car, going on a road trip, and they plan their own trip. Obviously, yes, there are guided tours available, but in general, what I've done is we've identified 101 what we call fantastic things to see and do around the Cape West Coast, and then peppered that along 6 themed routes, what I call trip plans.
Yeah.
And people can select what they would like to go and do at a specific time along this trip, and then plan it, go on a road trip, and really go and get to know the people of the area. And of course, our inspiration is nature, hence your route to nature. That is what we focus on.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Carmen. And again, focus on self-drive trips, which means you can keep it to your timeline, to your budget, however much time you've got available to take off work, or maybe just sneak away for a weekend or even a single day. You can tailor make it to what suits your lifestyle and your budget. Now, at this time of year, there's so many options, Carmen. You can make a week-long expedition and go on an organized bus trip up to the Northern Cape and find yourself surrounded by carpets of flowers, as so many people have done in the past, but you don't really have to go that far. Tell us a little bit more for somebody who is a first timer hitting the road to see the flowers and not quite sure what they need to do. Can you give us some suggestions?
Yeah, the 2 main highways to take from the Cape city of Cape Town is the N7, which is the road that would essentially take you to Namibia. And then the other one is called the R27, or the West Coast Road, and that's a more coastal route that takes you, or a highway that takes you up the coast of the West Coast. Now, the beauty of these roads are how well maintained they are, and along these ways, you will see so many, farm stalls and interesting stops for coffee, and really getting to know the people and the local cuisine, and of course the rich history of the area. So, if you're going up the N7, 2 hours later, you'll find yourself in Klein Willem. Now, Klein Willem is really at the foot of the Cedarburg Range. As I said, a little over 2 hours drive from Cape Town, and is really regarded as the only town in the world where rooibos is planted and cultivated. And it's famous internationally for the rooibos, but then also these amazing veldskoene or leather shoes. Yeah. And the Olifants River is running, in front of it. Of course, it's known for the Klein William Dam, and it's just finished an amazing flower exhibition in the main church there. But if you are interested in really going to see the flowers en masse in nature, you will be driving up the Van Rens Pass, which, thank the Lord, is open again. And your first stop should be Nieuwertville Waterfall. And absolutely fantastic to go there. That will take you all the way to Nieuwertville. You'll stop at the Nieuwertville Waterfall. Then you can drive through to Gannabos, which is a nature reserve. That is where you get the Kokerboom forest.
Yeah.
Now, it's not a forest as you and I normally think, where trees are very dense on top of each other. This is a spontaneous forest, so it's not man-made, and so they are spread out over a field or distance. And, going from Klein William and exploring that area, and then you look at Bido Valley, or you go to Nieuwertville, and there you explore, and you go, for instance, to Maatjiesfontein Nature Reserve. Really, that is going to allow you to stand literally in the midst of nature, as it's untouched. You know, the beauty of the West Coast is that when it's high season for the flowers, the farmers, they retract their animals, the cattle. The cattle do not trample over the flowers. Well, so should we also not. But it's really, they are catering for the visitor. I might add also that whilst there's a small fee to pay to Maatjiesfontein Flower Reserve, which is in Nieuwertville, it's really a small fee. There's no fee to be paid when you, for instance, go to Bido Valley. It's a free access. And that's absolutely fantastic. You know, there's so much being done in the West Coast to conserve nature and protect nature. And I really encourage people to go and come and see what the West Coast has to offer.
Carmen,
without investment. Yes,
sorry, if I can just pause to say, our listener Brenda has just mailed me some of her photographs of a recent trip up the West Coast, and she says these were taken from Langebaan near the Parks Gate at Shark Bay entrance. I mean, there are no words. It is a carpet of just golden colour in every direction, and another picture of beautiful white sort of blommetjies popping up with the green felt behind them. It's extraordinary, and it's so hard to describe if somebody's never had the experience of seeing them, just how thickly these flowers come out together. It really does have the appearance of a blanket or carpet laid over the felt. It really is absolutely staggering. Now, Langebaan, of course, only an hour and a half, if that, from Cape Town. Carmen, I know the West Coast National Park is a very popular spot for viewing flowers, but it tends to get busy quite early on in peak season, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And the flowers in Postburg is later this year than usual due to the rains. And we've still got a lot of snow on the mountains, which is obviously affecting it as well.
Yeah.
So the beauty of this is that whilst the flowers are what we call on in the Klein William area, Nieuwert area, and Van Reinsdorp, the flowers will be coming on in the next week fully in the Postburg area, which is the West Coast National Park. And the good news with that, again, going back to, at the end of the day, rands and cents, is that there's a free entry week at the West Coast National Park starting on the 9th of September. And that's really specially done for the South Africans. And of course, again, the Postburg Nature Reserve, which is a privately owned flower reserve in the West Coast National Park, is only open during August and September. And therefore, I again encourage people to go and visit. And the beautiful thing is pack a picnic or even a braai. There are braai facilities there. And, then we can all of us can experience nature. We can braai a choppy also and celebrate Heritage Month. And, of course, everyone can be part of tourism and in that way celebrate Tourism Month, which is all in September.
Carmen, our listener Lizzie asking on WhatsApp, are there any recommended multi-day hikes that give you a good experience of the flowers?
Multi-day hikes is best booked with, and I'm going to give you a company name called Silent Steps. I can recommend them. A one-day hike can be done from the Kokerboomwoud Gannabos. You do need to call them, and it's a self-guided walk, and that is then what I said, the quiver tree forest, Kokerboom forest, and that is at Nieuwoudtville. The size of the Bida Valley and the size of Maatjiesfontein Farm lends itself perfectly to anyone who wants to do their own guided, their own walk for an hour or two. The moment it becomes multi-day, then I highly recommend people give Silent Steps a call. They're located in Lambert's Bay, and they run walking tours right through the year.
Thank you so much for that recommendation. And Lizzie, I hope you get to go and experience it. Give us some feedback if you do, please. Brenda, thank you so much for sharing these magnificent photographs with us. She says she's just sent me another one taken from the kitchen window of the place she's staying, looking out towards the farm. And all you see are little white daisy type flowers in every direction. I hope you are just enjoying every minute of the experience, Brenda. And thank you for sharing those pictures. We are going to ask our digital team to share some of the photographs Carmen has sent to us of the spring flower season. You've been listening to Carmen Lerm of West Coast Way. Final question, Carmen, is if listeners would like to read up more about your recommendations for those wonderful 101 different things to see and do in the West Coast region, what's the website or Facebook page they should look for?
westcoastway.co.za, or on Instagram and Facebook, go to West Coast Way SA. Photos that are currently being shared is real time and has happened within today and the last 3 days. So
Amazing.
It's the real reflection of what can be expected to be experienced.
We're in for a real treat. Carmen, thank you so much for the very detailed advice there on how best to access this year's spring flowers. If anybody else listening has already taken a day trip or a longer trip and wants to share some photos or tell us what you saw where, please pop through a WhatsApp during the Eyewitness News.
Travel isn't just about destinations. It's about the people you meet, the cultures you immerse yourself in, the stories you carry home. I'm Relebogile Mabotja, and on my travel feature, I take you on a journey beyond the guidebook. Each week, I connect with fellow travelers, insiders, and storytellers to bring you the heart of every place. Whether it's a hidden gem right here in South Africa or a dream destination abroad. Join me as we travel through conversations, memories, and inspiration. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.